war want it very bad. Where I come from, that shit very bad.
Let's run that
WE have come 2 stages. First,
oh hell no, the nigga said WE. That says we, bruh. Nah, Speechify. I'm paying y'all too much money on, okay? No, get it right. It's the word, bro.
WE have come 2 stages. First, from the immediate emanations of the uncreated creating to the fluid yet timeless personages of the mythological age. Second, from these created creating ones to the sphere of human history. The emanations have condensed, the field of consciousness constricted. Where formerly causal bodies were visible, now only their secondary effects come to focus in the little hard-fact pupil of the human eye. The cosmogony cycle is now to be carried forward, therefore, not by the gods, who have become invisible, but by the heroes, more or less human in character, through whom the world destiny is realized. This is the line where creation myths begin to give place to legend, as in the book of Genesis, following the expulsion from the garden. Metaphysics yields to prehistory, which is dim and vague at first, but becomes gradually precise in detail. The heroes become less and less fabulous, until at last, in the final stages of the various local traditions, legend opens into the common daylight of recorded time. Mwetsi, the moon man, was cut loose like a fouled anchor. The community of the children floated free into the day world of waking consciousness.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. This is way better than me reading. I'll still read. I'm not gonna lie. This is way better, bro. I can sip tea. I can think about what they're saying. And this is great.
But we are told that there existed among them direct sons of the now submarine father, who, like the children of his first begetting, had grown from infancy to manhood in a single day. These special carriers of cosmic power constituted a spiritual and social aristocracy. Filled with a double charge of the creative energy, they were themselves sources of revelation. Such figures appear on the dawn stage of every legendary past. They are the culture heroes, the city founders. The Chinese chronicles record that when the earth had solidified.
Okay, so they're reiterating the fact that, you know, people progress the paradigm, and there's certain people that are chosen to do that, right?
And the peoples were settling in the riverlands. Fu Shesai, the heavenly emperor, governed among them. He taught his tribes how to fish with nets, to hunt, and to rear domestic animals, divided the people into clans, and instituted matrimony. From a supernatural tablet entrusted to him by a horse-shaped scaly monster out of the waters of the river Mung, he deduced the 8 diagrams, which remain to this day the fundamental symbols of traditional Chinese thought. He had been born of a miraculous conception, after a gestation of 12 years, his body being that of a serpent, with human arms and the head of an ox. Shen Nung, his successor, the earthly emperor, was 8 feet 7 inches tall, with a human body but the head of a bull. He had been miraculously conceived through the influence of a dragon. The embarrassed mother had exposed her infant on a mountainside, but the wild beasts protected and nourished it. And when she learned of this, she fetched him home. Chen Nung discovered in one day 70 poisonous plants and their antidotes. Through a glass covering to his stomach, he could observe the digestion of each herb. Then he composed a pharmacopoeia that is still in use. He was the inventor of the plow and a system of barter. He is worshipped by the Chinese peasant as the Prince of Cereals. At the age of 168, he was joined to the immortals. 2. Such serpent kings and minotaurs tell of a past when the emperor was the carrier of a special world-creating, world-sustaining power, very much greater than that represented in the normal human physique. In those times was accomplished the heavy Titan work, the massive establishment of...
Obama, listen, I got it, bro. I got it. That was gonna be tight. We gotta find somebody better. We gotta find a better voice, a better reader. That was not hidden. In those times was accomplished the heavy Titan work, the massive establishment of the foundations of our human civilization. But with the progress of the cycle, a period came when the work to be done was no longer proto or superhuman. It was the labor specifically of man, control of the passions, exploration of the arts, elaborations of the economic and cultural institutions of the state. Now is required no incarnation of the moon bull, no serpent wisdom of the 8 diagrams of destiny, but a perfect human spirit alert to the needs and hopes of the heart. Accordingly, the cosmogonic cycle yields an emperor in human form who shall stand for all generations to come as the model of man the king. Huang Ti, the Yellow Emperor, was the third of the August 3. His mother, a concubine of the prince of the province of Chaotian, conceived him when she one night beheld a golden dazzling light around the constellation of the Great Bear. The child could talk when he was 70 days old, and at the age of 11 years succeeded the throne. His distinguished endowment was his power to dream. In sleep, he could visit the remotest regions and consort with immortals in the supernatural realm. Shortly following his elevation to the throne, Huang Ti fell into a dream that lasted 3 entire months, during which time he learned the lesson of the control of the heart. After a second dream of comparable length, he returned with the power to teach the people. He instructed them in control of the forces of nature in their own hearts. This wonderful man governed China for 100 years, and during his reign, the people enjoyed a veritable golden age. He gathered 6 great ministers around him, with whose help he composed a calendar, inaugurated mathematical calculations, and taught the making of utensils, wood, pottery, and metal, the building of boats and carriages, the use of money, and the construction of musical instruments of bamboo. He appointed public places for the worship of God. He instituted the bounds and laws of private property. His queen discovered the art of weaving silk. He planted 100 rare varieties of grain, vegetables, and trees, favored the development of birds, quadrupeds, reptiles, and insects, taught the uses of water, fire, wood, and earth, and regulated the movements of the tides. So basically, this thing was just controlling everything. Before his death at the age of 111, the phoenix and the unicorn appeared in the gardens of the empire, in attestation to the perfection of his reign. Wow. So basically they're saying the primordial hero is basically just giving everybody the sauce, bro. It was a very long way to say the hero gives the sauce. The hero gives the sauce. Childhood of the human hero. I think this is going to be a good one. Yeah, so the primordial hero is basically the guy from at the start, at the beginning, right? Now the thing about being a reader is a lot of the time you'll just see a word and like inference what it means. See, yeah, there it is. I was correct. Yes, I was. Yes. This is something that has existed since the beginning of time. I'm interested in this chapter, so I'm going to read half. Obama's going to read half. Okay? Let's go, Big O. Let's go, Big O. Yeah.
2. Childhood of the human hero. The earlier culture hero of the snake body and bullhead carried within him from birth the spontaneous, creative power of the natural world. That was the meaning of his form. The man hero, on the other hand, must descend to re-establish connection with the infrahuman. This is the sense, as we have seen, of the adventure of the hero. But the makers of legend have seldom rested content to regard the world's great heroes as mere human beings who broke past the horizons that limited their fellows and returned with such boons as any man with equal faith and courage might have found. On the contrary, the tendency has always been to endow the hero with extraordinary powers from the moment of birth, or even the moment of conception. The whole hero life is shown to have been a pageant of marvels with the great central adventure as its culmination.
So you're either born that way or you're a normie, okay? That's what he's saying.
This accords with the view that herohood is predestined rather than simply achieved, and opens the problem of the relationship of biography to character. Jesus, for example, can be regarded as a man who, by dint of austerities and meditation, attained wisdom, or on the other hand, One may believe that a god descended and took upon himself the enactment of a human career. The first view would lead one to imitate the master literally, in order to break through, in the same way as he, to the transcendent, redemptive experience. But the second states that the hero is rather a symbol to be contemplated than an example to be literally followed.
Fair.
The divine being is a revelation of the omnipotent self, which dwells within us all. The contemplation of the life thus should be undertaken as a meditation on one's own immanent divinity, not as a prelude to precise imitation, the lesson being, not do thus and be good, but know this and be God. For, in part 1, the adventure of the hero, we regarded the redemptive deed from the first standpoint, which may be called the psychological. We now must describe it from the second, where it becomes a symbol of the same metaphysical mystery, that it was the deed of the hero himself to rediscover and bring to view. In the present chapter, therefore, we shall consider first the miraculous childhood, by which it is shown that a special manifestation of the immanent divine principle has become incarnate in the world, and then, in succession, the various life roles through which the hero may enact his work of destiny. These vary in magnitude, according to the needs of the time. Stated in the terms already formulated, the hero's first task is to experience consciously the antecedent stages of the cosmogony cycle to break back through the epochs of emanation. His second, then, is to return from that abyss to the plane of contemporary life, there to serve as a human transformer of demiurgic potentials. Huang Ti had the power to dream. This was his road of descent and return. Wainamoinen's second or water birth threw him back to an experience of the elemental. In the Tonga tale of the clam wife, the retreat began with the birth of the mother. The brother hero sprang from an infrahuman womb. The deeds of the hero in the second part of his personal cycle will be proportionate to the depth of his descent during the first. The sons of the clam wife came up from the animal level. Their physical beauty was superlative. Wainamoinen was reborn from the elemental waters and winds. His endowment was to rouse or quell with bardic song the elements of nature and of the human body. Huang Ti sojourned in the kingdom of the spirit. He taught the harmony of the heart. The Buddha broke past even the zone of the creative gods and came back from the void. He announced salvation from the cosmogony round. If the deeds of an actual historical figure proclaim him to have been a hero, the builders of his legend will invent for him appropriate adventures in depth. These will be pictured as journeys into miraculous realms, and are to be interpreted as symbolic, on the one hand, of descents into the night sea of the psyche, and on the other, of the realms.
Yo, we have to finish this book. Oh my god, it's so boring. It's so boring. We have to finish this book, bro. Now we're so close. Wait, actually, we are 50 pages away. We're so close. We're actually so close. Wow. Summer reading, chat. Because honestly, I feel like we got through the point of the book. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. I think we get it, gang. Like, bro keeps doing the story time shit. Like, yo, bro, this shit is so boring, bro. What are we supposed to do? That's for the book, Hero with 1,000 Faces, okay? Yo, Joseph Campbell, I really like you, bro. I really like you, and I really appreciate you, but, like, why did you write the book like that, bro? Did you write it for, like, complete dunderheads, bro? Like, Jesus Christ, bro. How many times are we gonna talk about Buddha, bro? Like, okay, yes, bro. Buddha is an example. Great, like, but damn, bro.